The 136th Annual Scotts Bluff County Fair took place over the past 2 weeks. The events kicked off on July 22nd with the clothing and table setting competitions.
Table setting is an annual thing that we do during our static show, and kids from the ages of Clover Kid up to they graduate, and I think freshman year of high school, can participate, and they set a table for one person, and they include a menu, a centerpiece, and the menu includes all 5 food groups, and there's table setting has to represent, or has to have a theme to it, so like a party or camping trip and stuff like that. Some of the rules are, they're different for different levels. And juniors and intermediates get to set their table up beforehand, and then they give a little speech to the judge and the crowd, and then the judge will ask them a couple questions like how far their silverware and plates should be, which is just about the little bit of your thumb. They'll ask you about their food groups, things like that. Seniors have to set up their table setting in front of the judge, so that way the judge can watch them center their tablecloth and talk about their food groups and make sure that they check the silverware and things like that.
For the clothing competition, the participants made their own clothing for different categories, including Beyond the Needle, Knit and Crochet, and Steam.
I modeled baseball t-shirt that I made and some shorts.
Pajamas, club t-shirt, and a tie-dye shirt with denim shorts.
So I modeled my Beyond the Needle club tie-dye t-shirt, and I made this jumpsuit as well as a tie-dye sweatshirt.
The competition also included a shopping and style category, where participants purchased clothing for the best price possible. Events continued on July 29th. The annual Pancake Feed and Parade kicked off the festivities. The theme for this year was riding, roping, and rock and rollin'.
So the parade, the theme this year was riding, roping, and rock and rolling for the Scotts Bluff County Fair. And so we were judging the floats on creativity, on workmanship, on the theme, and just the spirit of the parade. And so we were able to judge the 3 top winners. And so the Moral FFA was #1 winner. Ply Valley Companies was the 2nd place for the parade, and Mitchell FFA was the 3rd place winner for the parade. I think that there were close to probably 40 entries for the parade, with all of the different cars and businesses and all of the wonderful fire trucks. It was great to have a wonderful turnout. Had a lot of fun with the parades this year.
The horse show took place on July 29th at the Historic Saddle Club in Scotts Bluff.
We started off with showmanship, and that's where the exhibitor is actually on the ground displaying, putting their horse in kind of a showcase type environment, showing them off. And there's a real lot of things that this child needs to remember about showing that horse. And then they had halter classes, and that's where they judge the horse more than the show, a person showing.
Trail is a class where basically they simulate what you might see like out in the wilderness on a trail. So like a bridge, you might have to pick up like a bag of cans or drag something. It just depends on the year. This year they had us side pass into a mailbox, show a letter, and then they also had us carry a sack of cans, which is just for like to test your horse's like sensoriness to like different noises. The ranch riding is basically a pattern that you just eyeball, and you are judged on like how well you can perform it and your spacing of the pattern. And then horsemanship is how well you work with your horse. So if they respond well to you, you don't have to like jerk the reins or kick them a ton. And they also will sometimes do pleasure within it, which is just when the horses are circling and you go different gaits to see how you also can like keep your horse collected and calm and not passing a ton of horses.
There was also a pole bending class and a barrel racing class that the participants could enter. The agility and rally portions of the dog show took place at the Carol A. Fuller Foundation Dog Park in Mitchell.
So the 4-H kids had the agility and rally contest with their dogs on a Saturday evening. Rally, there are set signs that they go to, and they follow the directions on those signs with their dog, and it follows their obedience and their training with their dog. And then agility, we had kids do either 6 or 10 obstacles in agility, and it just shows how well they've been working with their dogs.
For agility, it's just like you would think. They would go through an obstacle course and the dog has to jump, go through weave poles or up the ramp and down the ramps and stuff like that, or going through a tunnel. And for rally, it has signs posted on markers in the ground, and you have to follow what the sign says. It might be like a halt and sit, or it might be like changing the pace, and you just go through and you follow the signs and go through the course that way.
The dog show continued on July 30th with the obedience and showmanship portions.
At the dog show, they will have obedience classes, and the judge will ask them to do certain things like walk fast, walk slow, normal pace, ask their dog to sit. They have a long down or a long sit where the dog has to lay down for I think 3 or 5 minutes based on which class they're in. And then in showmanship, they get to really show off their dogs to the judge and answer questions about their dogs. And then at the end of the day, we will have awards for all of the competitions.
Obedience is more based on the dog, and like the dog has to it's more sits and downs and along what you think of training a dog. And then showmanship's more of you showing handling it.
So obedience has different levels based on difficulty, and the dogs, they heel beside you, they sit, and they lay down, and it's just like showing how well the dog listens to the exhibitor. And as it goes higher in ranks, then it becomes more difficult. For showmanship, it's more based on how the dog interacts with the person and on the person's knowledge. So if say the dog does really well, but the exhibitor doesn't know much, then they don't do as well. But they usually do pretty well anyway.
The swine shows took place on July 31st.
So today is our swine show here at the Scotts Bluff County Fair. So we are in the middle of our market show, and then we will go into our breeding show, which consists of all of the breeding gilts that we will have exhibited by youth here, and then we'll finish up with showmanship at the end of the day, and then we'll also have some clovers kind of mixed in there as well. And so clover buds are all those ages from 5 to 7 that are too young to participate in actual 4-H, but that want to kind of get their toes wet in terms of, fair and that sort of thing. And so we'll have those kiddos here in a little bit as well.
The market classes are for showing off how well the animal would sell at the market. The breeding classes are for showing how well the animal represents the breed. And the showmanship classes are for showing how well the participant is able to show off the animal. Goats were the stars of the day on August 1st.
Just talk to her, calm her down, and I show her whatever we win, and I tell her it's gonna be alright. And I keep her head up, and I set her up, getting her feet in the right position and getting her head up.
I try and just stay calm and cool in the ring, and I always try and keep a smile on my face and make sure my goat is always set up. I make sure that her feet are in a square, so I just pick them up and make her front feet the same, width apart and length apart, as well as her back feet to accentuate her udder.
Showing goats is just leading them around the ring, being able to make sure that your goat is clean and well presented, your knowledge about the project, learning about different breeds, what you would improve upon on your goat, and the Dairy Goat scorecards, which are part of the AGDA, the American Dairy Goat Association.
They'll show a goat by walking it around the ring, and you always have to keep the goat in between you and the judge. So they use the example kind of like a sandwich. The people is the bread, the goat kind of like is the meat inside, and they'll ask you questions about what your goat is. They'll ask what the other different dairy goat breeds are.
The sheep show took place on August 2nd.
Without a halter, you brace them in the top.
You want them pushing against your legs so that their muscles tense up so the judge can feel their muscles. So first you walk around in a circle by only holding their heads. You can't have a halter, which is like their leash. You hold under their chin and behind their ears, and you walk around the ring, and then you brace them. So you'll put your front feet just straight normal how you'd stand, and then you push their back feet back so they stretch, and their back is flat, and you keep their head up so you can see all of their muscle.
The poultry show took place on August 2nd. This show included not just chickens and roosters, but also turkeys, ducks, and geese.
So today is our poultry show. We have kids everywhere from Clover kid age to seniors showing their poultry projects today. They compete in several areas. They can compete in showmanship. We have a market class, which is birds that are raised for the grocery store or for people to consume. We also have breed classes for chickens who mainly produce eggs, and then we also have an egg competition as well. So they have lots of options today.
I like tell them all the things about my chicken. I tell them where it came from, where it originated from, like what town it was from, what year it was from. Well, not the direct year, like the age of 2000s. While you're up there, you also gotta know all the body parts, like the head down to tail. And we also have to like tell them if it's a male or a female, and if it will lay eggs or if it's too young.
First, you have to start with the head, then the neck, back, show the width of the back and the length. Then you have to do the wing, how many feathers there is, the coloring, where all the parts are. Then you have to say there's no lice and mites under the wing. Then you do the tail. Then I do the breast, heel bone, which is breastbone. Then I do the feet. Then I do the feet.
Despite the weather, the rabbit hopping contest went on as planned on August 2nd. Rabbit hopping is where a rabbit hops over hurdles with one or more bars dependent upon the skill of the rabbit, similar to dog agility or show jumping for horses.
Rabbit hopping is judged on, it's a time. You got 2 minutes to do the course. The course is 10 jumps. The height of it can be anywhere, it's by 2-inch increments, and since all of ours are still on the beginner levels, they'll be like 2 and 4 inches that they're jumping. They are done with a harness. It is, we have faults if you knock down a bar, or if you tug on your rabbit, you have to be very gentle how you get them to. And so it's a fault and a time combination. They get 2 runs, so then we add up the score between the faults and the timing and pick our winners from that. Once they complete and can win 2 categories, then we move up to the next level, which the jumps get higher.
The chicken costume contest has quickly become a fan favorite event at the fair and took place on August 2nd. Participants dressed their chickens in costumes of their choice. There is no theme, so the only limit is the participants' imagination. The rabbit show took place on August 3rd.
It goes for both 4-H and FFA. You have to, it's pretty much like an examination. So you start off with your name, and I do how long we've been doing it for. So this is my 4th year. And then you give a little bit of the rabbit's history, where they came from, and when they were recognized in the national shows. And then you go on to like a health examination and go from head to tail, and then you flip it over and do their underside.
I did breed with my mini Rex and my Californian, and I also showed my Californian today. Well, you start from their face, do like their ears, and you can do their eyes, but I do their eyes when I flip them over, and then I do their nose and their teeth and their feet and their stomach, and I flip it back over and do his tail.
But when you're judging a show, especially for market, well, since we just finished that one, I'll talk about that first. You're looking for the overall best meat quality. So on the market pen, the biggest thing is meat type. That's worth 40 points out of the 100 is the meat type, which ones have the best overall commercials. Body types, that nice width to the midsection and nice width to the loin. The more meat, the better. on each of those, they're graded based off of their overall fur condition, their overall body condition. That's how well meted out they are. So, like if you push on me here, I'm a little jiggly, but if you push on me here, I'm a little more well meted. That's how you're judging rabbits. If they're flabby, it's not going to place as well as one that's more muscled. But overall, that's what you're looking for. Is which animals meet the standard the best. Showmanship, that is all about the kids. So unlike other species where showing the animal has just as much to do with the kid as it does the animal, rabbit showing is all about the rabbit once they're on the table. I don't know who the rabbit belongs to, I don't know anything like that. It's the animal speaking for itself. Showmanship is where the kids get to show me. That's where they come up and they tell you all about their animal, how they care for their animal, all of the parts on their animal, and basically go through all of the parts that I do as a judge, but they as an exhibitor have to do before they can put it on the table.
August 3rd was also a day for celebrations and fun. While most fair awards are determined and given out on the day of competition, the static awards are a little different. Entrants must bring their projects in at a specified time and leave them there for later judging. The entrants can then view the results of the judging when the event center opens to the public. This is the process for both open and 4-H classes. The 4-H classes are then given an award ceremony to celebrate their achievements. Following the award ceremony, the fan favorite cookie jar auction took place. The 4-Hers put their own unique spin on a cookie jar, and then the jars are auctioned off to the highest bidder. The money from the sales goes back to the 4-Hers to help them with their projects for next year. The final total from the auction was over $9,000. The Platte Valley Dirt Riders hosted a special motocross race on August 3rd.
The fair came to us and said, we don't have an event for Thursday. They said, do you think you could put on a motocross race? And we have a track just south of town here, and we spend days and hours prepping that track, getting ready for a race, and they wanted us to do this in a night. And so fortunately or unfortunately, the event last night, Wednesday night, was canceled, so it allowed our crew to come in. Wonderful board members, dads, moto dads. We had 4 big payloaders and a bunch of skidsters out here. Those guys worked until 5 o'clock this morning. They had to push all the mud off the track because it rained so hard.
Yeah.
And we hauled dirt in, we hauled bales in, and this is an amazing track. Everybody that's ridden it says this is amazing. It's a great track if we would have spent days on it. We've got everybody from 6 and 8-year-olds all the way up to high school, college kids, and we even got an old man division.
In a round robin, the Grand and Reserve champions from the competitions earlier in the week returned to compete again. During this competition, the participants must not only show their own animal, but the animals from the other competitors as well.
Today we have the round robin, and you show all species of animals, pigs, goats, cattle, and sheep, and then you judge on each one, and then overall gets a buckle. I got reserve overall. So today we had the round robin showmanship. You show all the species, which includes cattle, goats, pigs, and lambs. My favorite was probably the cattle because I used to show them, but since I showed them, my next favorite would probably be a pig.
The large animal round robin features the champions from the swine, sheep, meat, goat, and beef showmanship classes. The small animal round robin features the champions from the companion animal, dog, dairy goat, fiber animal, poultry, and rabbit showmanship classes. August 5th was the final day for the fair and featured the livestock sale. This is where competitors can sell their animals to help recoup some of the costs of raising their animals. The final total of the sale was just over $492,000.
So we have the sale today, so I get to sell my chicken, and I sold mine. I'm pretty grateful what the outcome of that, and excited to be wrapping up this year fair.
Well, we're at the Scotts Bluff County sale, supporting the youth in the area. I think the livestock program is great. I was raised in a livestock program. My kids all showed till they graduated. I just think it teaches a lot about hard work and rewards in the end. and it's a very family-oriented event. You know, I always said, do I want to coach that I have no idea talking to my kids for 3 hours a day, or do I want to be in the barn with them? And we always chose the latter.
Attendees at the fair also had the chance to meet and take pictures with Michelangelo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, see many of the vendors inside the event center, and ride the rides at the carnival.
The county fair, the Scotts Bluff County Fair, has a unique twang to it. They have just great artists there, and that is a hometown 4-H fair. You know, so you're going to have agriculture exhibits out there, concerts. There's going to be more food than even I can eat. You know, when I go there, I have to visit each one of the booths and get my favorite foods, and it still takes me the whole week to do it.
4-Hers and FFA members also shared what it meant to them to be in 4-H and FFA.
For me, being in 4-H is being able to work with other kids and being able to mentor them, but also learn something from the younger kids as well.
What it means to be in 4-H for me is a lot of opportunities. I have the opportunity to show a lot of animals and gain a lot of experience from showing them, as well as being a leader in my 4-H club and being able to interact with other kids and being able to help them and help future kids with their projects. And it's just really a cool project to see and to grow, and it's always learning by doing.
What it means to me in being 4-H is learning by experiences and gaining more knowledge, also while having fun and meeting new people along the way.
To be in 4-H means to like grow and like work with animals, because 4-H is all about just like growing as a person, because like all the projects that they do, it's just like help you like kind of a person. Like the animals, help you take care of animals is really good. And a lot of I also do robotics, which teaches like teamwork and robotic skills. We also do, well, I don't do this, but the projects, actually I've done a couple. They like help build you as a person, because like it's cool building, making lots of things for 4-H, and then presenting how well you did and getting a ribbon based off that.
I think that 4-H is a great place, and I think kids should sign up for it because, you know, it teaches kids a lot. So, I mean, you will be a little nervous at first in your first year, but it doesn't matter.
It's just fun, something else to do during the summer. Meeting new people and learning how to work with an animal and just making a bond with an animal. Like, he's my best friend. So just making a bond and learning new things every day.
I don't know, it's a lot of fun, and you have to work to do good in shows like this, and hard work pays off.
I like being in 4-H because I want to be a vet when I'm older.
It feels like really good. Like you feel like you can teach little kids how to show and learn more about animals and how to care for them, and it just makes you feel good as a person.
So I'm an FFA, I'm the FFA president at Morrill, and it means a lot to me. I just like to get other kids like involved. I love to like just put things on, get FFA known, and just get the word out there really about FFA, just so we have more ag and FFA coming in the future.
I like being in 4-H. It gives you something to do during the summer. Just gives you work to do.
It's just something fun to do for the summer.
It's important to me because I get to spend time with animals, and some of my friends do 4-H, and I get to spend time with them. And you can also get money for school clothes.
I was in 4-H when I was a little girl, and so I really enjoyed it, but I only ever did static exhibits. But now that we live in the country, we can have animals. We've enjoyed bringing animals to the fair too. It's really good responsibility for the kids. They learn how to care for something and do a quality job. And 4-H is a great program because it ensures that they're trained to do a quality job. They have to take quality assurance training before they can show an animal at the fair. And so we just love the 4-H curriculum, even for the static exhibits. I mean, there's something for robots, there's something for cooking, there's something for any kind of animal. They have so many different curriculums and programs. I mean, you can almost put a college degree together.
Scottsbluff County Fairgrounds manager Lana Hubbard said that she was so thankful to everyone who helped make this year's event possible, especially with the wild midweek weather and that she was looking forward to next year. Events coming to the area this week. The Old West Balloon Fest will take place from August 9th through August 12th. The celebration begins on August 9th with the WNCC Night Glow beginning at 6 p.m. at Western Nebraska Community College. The Old West Balloon Fest Sunrise Balloon Launches will take place on August 11th and 12th beginning at 5:30 a.m. at the Mitchell Airfield. August 12th will be the final day of events for the Old West Balloon Fest. The craft fair will take place in downtown Mitchell from 7:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. The Wiener Dog races will take place at 11 a.m. at Kiwanis Park in Mitchell. The Cornhole Tournament will take place beginning at 10 a.m. in front of Red's Bar and Grill. The final event will be the Five Rocks Night Glow and will begin at 5 p.m. at Five Rocks Amphitheater. All of these events will require the purchase of an event pass for parking. Event passes can be purchased online from Pinnacle Bank in Mitchell or from any Platte Valley Bank location. For more information about the event, contact 308-225-0128 or visit theoldwestballoonfest.com. Sweatstick Skate and Bounce will be hosting a Christian skate night on August 10th at 6 p.m. Come and skate and enjoy fellowship with others. Admission is $5. For more information, call 308-632-5996. On August 10th, Community Christian School will be presenting their annual Penny in the Park from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. in Frank Park. For more information, call 308-632-2230. Riverview Golf Course will be hosting the 44th Annual Farmers Day Off Golf Appreciation Day on August 10th from 7:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. For more information, call 308-635-1555. On August 11th, bring your friends for a movie at Frank Park, sponsored by the City of Scottsbluff and the Scottsbluff Parks, Cemetery, and Tree Board. The movie that will be showing is The Bad Guys. This movie is rated PG. Feel free to bring blankets and chairs and lay out under the stars and enjoy a movie. The movie will promptly start at sunset or at 8:30 p.m. weather permitting. Drinks and snacks will be available for purchase. For more information, call 308-632-4136. The Team Auto Center Run and Rope will be held at the Historic Saddle Club on August 12th. Entry is at 8 a.m. and the goat tying begins at 9 a.m. For more information, call 520-678-6168. The North Platte Natural Resource District will be hosting their annual Water Expo on August 12th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. This event is a family-friendly day of fun and learning about natural resources and your natural resource district by incorporating fun learning experiences with educational programs and entertainment, including bounce houses and a giant water slide. Admission and lunch are free. For more information, call 308-632-2749. The Scottsbluff-Gehring United Chamber of Commerce Agribusiness Committee will be hosting their annual water tour on August 15th through the 16th. This year's tour will focus on where the water goes to share the full story of the impact the water system has for all of Nebraska. The bus tour will leave at 7 a.m. on August 15th and return on August 16th around 5:30 p.m. For more information or to register, call 308-632-2133. Thanks for watching Around the Town News.